live. How you guys doing? If I got my volume off, that means people can call and it'll be that I didn't put before. How you guys doing? Just want to do a rant. First of all, I wasn't gonna tell the story. I don't say things automatically, but I say things eventually, and I say them when I'm ready, when I feel it. This is my favorite necklace I have right now. Can I explain the story of how I got it? I was on Old Town Front Street. I had $200 bills that were supposed to be saved for something. One of them still is saved. The other one is not, because some girls were selling lemonade, and all I had was $200 bills, and I didn't have. I know they can't change that, and I wanted to buy lemonade from them. So I had to go into the silver shop that's on Old Town Front Street to break the $100 bill, and I had to buy something to do that. I can't say, can you break 100? It's not a bank. But I bought this necklace, my favorite thing in the store that I saw, and that broke the 100, so I could give the girls $2 for lemonade. And that's the story of how I got this necklace. It's now my favorite necklace that I have. Not that I've ever had, but it's my favorite necklace that I have right now. And it's because girls were selling lemonade, and I had to give them a sale. I can't just walk by. I have $200 bills in my pocket. I can't afford lemonade, so I had to break one of the hundreds, and that's why I got this necklace, which I really like. But that's not the whole subject of this video. It's not all I want. That's not the main thing. But I wanted to say that story. I wasn't going to say anything, but then how did I get this necklace? Secondly, this is just nonsense, but I like these pictures. My dad knew some of these people, so I have this picture of Jack LaLanne signed to me when I was a kid to my friend Jim from Jack LaLanne, and I have this picture signed from Steve Garvey, who was first baseman for the LA Dodgers, and my dad knew these people, and I still have these pictures from when I was a kid. I met these guys, and they signed it. And I think that's cool. These guys are really cool. Now, that's not the subject of this main subject of the video. That's just pictures I kept from when I was a kid. I want to discuss, this is my Committee 300 book. The Spirit Society, the Committee 300 by Dr. John Coleman. It's just a prop for this video. I'm not going to go like, I'm not going to read it to you, and I'm going to go on. I'll just have some pictures in here, which is cool. Different people that were on the committee. You don't just, not just names, but you see pictures of people. Want to see some of them? On a side note, this is Sir William. First of all, this is Kennedy, but that's not why I showed you that. This is Sir William Stevenson, the guy I'm pointing to right here. That's the guy that was the head of the 7 assassins that killed John F. Kennedy right here. This is the dude. You want to know who killed Kennedy? This dude was in charge of the 7 MI6 people, or whatever they were, assassins assigned to kill Kennedy. This guy was in charge of it. He was headed by Sir William Stevenson, the assassination of Kennedy. Take it or leave it, believe it or not, whatever. Don't believe it, but that's what I'm saying, so it's your choice, believe it or not. I've read this book from cover to cover twice, and then even then I've read a little more through some of it other than that. This is George Orwell. That's what George Orwell looked like right here. That's George Orwell. Lord Bertrand Russell. This guy was one of the greatest thinkers of our time, of any time. Bertrand Russell right here. I wasn't even going to show you these. I just saw these pictures when I flipped the book open, and I went there. This is Queen Victoria right here. It's Queen Victoria I'm pointing to right there. Queen Victoria. She was somebody. Cecil John Rhodes, as in the Rhodes Scholarship. I'm a Rhodes Scholar. That's Rhodes right there himself. These guys didn't look too good, did they? This is J.P. Morgan. That's J.P. Morgan right there. J.P. Morgan I'm pointing to. Morgan and Chase. John Murray Forbes right here. That's Forbes. That's in Forbes magazine. I saw the article in Forbes. Some powerful people. Jeremy Bentham. Jeremy Bentham right here. Look at the longer hair. Jeremy Bentham. Robert Bennett Forbes. Here's another Forbes dude. Robert Bennett Forbes right here. And is William Everett Gladstone right here. These are just people that just made our world, you know. One reason it's so bad, hello, it's had to be made by somebody. These are the people that made it. But that's not entirely what I was going to say. That's pictures from the book. I was just going to use this book as a prop for what I have to say. I just think it's very weird, funny, bad, stupid, whatever word you want to call it, that we all are told what to believe when we grow up, how to act, what's right, what's wrong, what's true, what's false, and we don't even question whatever is telling us this. Most of the time, people are taught this by their natural parents, which is really hard to break that cycle. I suppose I don't have any natural parents that I know of, but your natural parents tell you something, you're shit if you don't believe it, and yet you're stupid if you do, because people don't even question what all these things you're taught as fact, and none of it is true at the end of the day, or it's taken out of context and not true in application, but it isn't true. We don't question why we go to church. Why do we go to Sunday school on Sunday? Why that day? Well, we don't question that. That's just told to us. So we're just supposed to believe it, or we're a piece of shit, right? Jesus existed because they told me he did. I didn't research it. I don't know it. I've never seen any evidence. I just believe it because I was told that. That is called stupidity. But we don't call it that. We don't even question it. We don't even look at it. We just call it having faith. Faith, if those motherfuckers that told you that are telling you the truth because they want to, or if they even have the truth, oh, how about stupidity? Let's call faith stupidity. Oh, that's a better word, don't you think? I'm just ranting. I'll be done soon. I'm not going to go on and on about this. We're just taught to believe that because we just are, and we don't even question it. We never do. I did, but I'm not like most people. We just believe it because we were told that. How many of us think that's smart to do? I was just told to believe it, whether by my parents or anyone else, and I just did because I'm just supposed to. Because if I don't believe it, I'm a shitty person. Does that sound good? Anybody want to raise their hand and say why that's a good thing and defend it with logic? Why do you trust these people? How do you know it was true? Because you were taught that. Oh, you have no reason? You have no answer? Well, that's called stupidity if you believe it then. Faith is a euphemism for stupidity and ignorance and lack of doing your homework and a lack of due diligence to find what is the truth. I never saw Jesus, so why should I believe in him? I never saw the guy. I have no personal knowledge or otherwise that he existed. And why should I have faith? Because that's just stupid. Having faith. Why don't I have faith? Let's all have faith that the sky is red and that the sun is blue. Because I said so. You can't tell. But I just said so you have to believe it. Otherwise, you're a piece of shit. The sky is now red and the sun is blue, or you are a piece of shit. Because I said so, and I must be believed because I'm me. Now, that's absurd, but that's no different or no worse than what we do in society with what they tell us to believe in church and school and whatever, in society itself. You guys are stupid that believe this. Whatever. Be stupid. But don't criticize me for not being stupid, because that's reverse discrimination, and that's not correct, and it's very stupid to do that. I'm the one that is not stupid, so I get discriminated against. That's reverse discrimination. Reverse discrimination is very dumb, and is almost always incorrect, because i.e. reverse discrimination. Discriminating against the good person, or the true person, or the right person, because the wrong people are in the majority, so they think they have the right to discriminate against the true good person. Not that I'm true and good, but I'm telling you some things that should be thought about, don't you think? Or no, I shouldn't question anything that was told. That's bad, evil, or just lack of faith, and that's bad. I'm going to go to hell. Well, I want to go to hell. Next, I don't want to go to heaven with all the assholes that believe in Jesus for no reason. Okay, So I took a good long rest. I'm still like in restful mode, mood, whatever, but not forever. I want to do some musical stuff, and I wanted to do this rant because I just get these thoughts in my head and I'd like to share them. And so let's see what we do musically. I might do a jam. I want to jam. I think I've only done. You guys realize I've only done two jams. I've done some song stuff, but I've only done two jams since my pinky finger breakthrough, where I can now use my pinky finger at full speed, which is significant. That's a good one because you either have to play with three fingers, which is really dumb, or you have to play with all four and you're slower.